And welcome back to the Gadget Spot.
It's such a huge week. So much gaming news. Woo!
Oh, man. Turn that guy down.
That wasn't me. That wasn't me.
That wasn't you. Yeah.
Well done, James.
That
Not
was
you.
today. Was a big week.
It was
there was
huge week.
There was a lot of news in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Hey, why am I so quiet?
Because I turned you down.
Oh.
So let's get right into it. Go ahead and introduce ourselves. This is the Gadget Spot where we talk about tech, gadgets, and video games. Up first is Owen.
Hey, I'm Owen. You can follow me on Twitter at TechNoan. I haven't been on there recently because life has been super out of control and stressful. And I tend to withdraw from everything when that happens. As you can see, I'm basically dressed like a hobo in dirty clothes, ripped pants.
A turtle, because you're wearing green. Retreat into your shell, turtle.
It's a pretty old shirt.
You look like a high-functioning person that has narcissism.
Yeah, that's me.
No, that's not narcolepsy. That's what I was going.
No, he is narcissistic.
Both accurate.
Also, yes.
Also, yes.
I'm a narcissistic narcoleptic.
Yeah, I fall asleep
I fall
thinking
asleep
about
looking at myself in the mirror.
Yeah.
I fall asleep and dream about myself.
While dreaming of killing other people.
Haven't played any games this week. It's been just enough to keep me conscious and functional in the with raising my kids. So pretty boring. But follow me on Twitter anyway, because if you want to be bored, that's a good place to go do that.
What's your Twitter handle?
At TechNoan.
There you go. Thanks, Super Dad.
He said that already.
Super Dad Technoan.
Boom.
Jarron.
I would love to have someone make a compilation of all of Owen's intros and just see how they go. You know how they progress.
That sounds like an ASMR
Just
thing.
follow the crypto market, and you'll see it's a degrading slope with sometimes very sharp downward spikes.
Yeah, slope is a little
slope,
kind.
yeah.
I think it's more like cliffs.
Yeah, I think more of like earthquakes and fissures opening up in the middle of the earth. Anyway.
Hey, but this is me, Jarron, at Jarron, Jarron. And
Still the coolest Twitter handle.
Still is, out of all of us.
It's okay.
It's all right. So my philosophy towards gaming lately is I have so many games I'm in the middle of. Why not embrace that and keep starting games that I'll never beat?
Yeah, been there.
Yeah.
So did you give up on Horizon Zero Dawn?
Oh yeah. It's there still. I just haven't played it in the last 4 weeks.
Which is perfectly in line with what you're doing.
So I bought Doom on PC, even though I already own it for Switch, and I started playing Doom again on PC, even though I haven't beat it on Switch yet. Then I bought Dishonored for $2 on PC, PC Master Race.
Yep.
Woo. That game is awesome.
I told you.
Yeah.
It's a good $2. That's $2 well spent.
I know, $2.
Think of all the other things that you spent $2 on. I bet you feel like a fool.
This is way better.
And that's it. It's pretty much been Doom and Dishonored and that. Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Nice. Good games.
And what's the deal with the Dishonored? I mean, you're trying to clear your name, but then you kill everyone while you're trying to clear your name from killing someone.
That's how it goes in all video games. You know,
it's that game.
You mow through all the minions, and you get to the boss, and your character all of a sudden has a crisis of conscience. I'm a good guy, though. I can't kill you.
I didn't kill that guy. I killed those guys.
Yeah, just your hundreds of minions.
I feel like you introed that like, hey, what's the deal with Dishonored?
What's the deal with this?
Wait, was that a Seinfeld thing,
was a
but in a
Seinfeld.
Bill Cosby voice?
Yeah,
What's
somewhere.
the deal with the jello?
All right, James, introduce yourself.
What's up? It's your boy JDD Jensen. JDD's for smash the like button. I was trying to do my best YouTube, and then like halfway through, I didn't want to do it anymore. But I had to do something to stick some kind of a landing to make it make sense.
He ejected while his plane was inverted.
You still working on that
smashed
landing?
him into the ground.
Speaking of which, no, I'm not going to get into that right now. So, it's James.
Okay.
Hi, James.
What's up,
Hey, this
guys?
is the third week in a row.
I know. It's
Congratulations. Are you back for good?
I look forward to it. Don't let me down.
Don't ruin it.
You need to raise your bar a little bit higher,
Can't.
buddy.
It's at the
I'm
top.
wearing the red threatening color to you right now.
Exactly.
Do you feel threatened right here?
No, that maroon. It's more of a maroon.
So if you want to catch me on Twitter, I'm at
He didn't
JDD
answer the
Jensen
question.
or at Funeral Taters, thanks to Jarron, which I haven't used yet. But I changed the password, but I forgot what password I changed it to. Dang it.
That is a problem.
So you can either catch me there. I've been playing a aggressive amount of Hearthstone lately, which for whatever reason I got into that game. I don't know why.
Doesn't surprise me at all, actually.
Why do you say that?
Because you like to follow the crowd.
Yeah, it just seems like
Is
something.
it
that you
is
would
it a
get
popular
into.
game right now?
It's been popular ever since it launched.
Yeah, I was into it for a little while and then I quit, and now I'm back into it.
I'm not saying that as to
No,
as to
there's
say
a reason
that it's
why.
a bad game.
There's a reason why games are popular.
Yeah, if you like good card games, it's a really good game.
I did see that they have like a solo play mode where it's instead of playing against other people, it's objective based, and
Yeah.
I like that a lot more than playing against other people. So I'm going to be playing that, and if you guys want to play with me on that, message me on Twitter and let's play, because I need friendly people that I can play with that aren't super aggressive to me and tell me to die.
That Hearthstone crowd is harsh. They should call it Hearthstone.
Outside of that, I haven't really picked up my Nintendo Switch, and I think Jarron nailed it right before we started recording. How did you describe it? It's when I have a plenty. What was the thing?
Scarcity is the spice of life.
Ooh, I got chills again just from that.
Yeah.
It's because I can have any game I want now, and I don't really care to play any game. I just want Smash Brothers.
How can you have any game you want?
I don't know.
You got to finish it. You set yourself up. Come on.
So we got a host. His name is Tony. Take it away, Tony.
Check me out on Twitter if and you like at QuadTTony, or here every other week on the Gadget Spot, or every week on the Geek Show podcast. And I've been apparently playing a little bit like Jarron lately, because
Yes, welcome.
I finished Mass Effect Andromeda and I've just kind of been floating.
Finished it?
Yeah, I completed the main story and all the main side quests.
He doesn't have kids. Remember this.
Finished.
How many hours?
72.
Ooh, okay. Yep. He does
Holy
not have kids.
buckets, 72.
But as a result, now I'm kind of floating rudderless amongst a sea of backlog games.
It's called decision paralysis.
Yeah, but I've pulled a few out, and that's what I'm playing now. I bounce around between because of QuakeCon last week. I've started Quake Champions because that went free to play, and it's just an online competitive shooter using the Quake engine kind of a thing. Well, it uses a combination of IdTech 5 or 6 I think, and the company that developed it for id. Their engine, which I can't remember the name of. Anyway, it's fun. It's a really fun free-to-play arena shooter that's just old school frag fest. Jump around and shoot people with rocket launchers.
That's kind of
Jump
refreshing.
around.
Yeah, it's fun. So I've been playing that. I pulled Far Cry 5 out again on the PC, and I put a few hours into that in the last couple weeks. And that game's really neat. It's beautiful. It's a pretty game.
It's nothing
And
compared to
and it's a lot of fun.
games we saw today.
Well, we'll get to that. And then I booted up the old SNES Mini Classic. Whoa. And I've been playing through Super Castlevania 4.
Oh, that's on my list.
And that game's hard.
Really?
it's a good thing there's a rewind feature on
Right.
that system. Yeah, but I think I've made it to like the 7th level or something like that. I don't know how many levels there are, or even if they're called levels, but I've gotten to that map screen where it moves your character around and you start a new area like 7 times. So anyway, that's pretty fun. But yeah, those are kind of the main things I've been playing, those 3 games.
Doom is so good.
Doom's way good. So I guess let's get right into it. Speaking of Doom, at QuakeCon last week, they showed off more Doom Eternal. Oh wait, we got it. We can't get right into it yet. We got Patreon and
do.
emails. Jarron,
Yeah.
tell us about the Patreons.
Owen, what is Patreon?
Don't make me do it.
Owen.
It's a digital tip jar.
Hey, he
this
did
guy.
it.
Ask me again what it is.
No, I'm not going to.
Okay. Don't do that.
What?
Anyway, I'm leaving it at that. I'm retiring that.
So it's
Saying
a
that.
digital tip jar that people can
What did you say?
digital tip.
Oh,
jar.
okay. I heard
Yep.
something else.
Yeah, of course you did. Anyway, if you feel like contributing to the show, do it. If not, that's all right too. We still love you either way.
You're a winner either way.
Huge thank you to AJ Jasper and Aaron Young. You guys are great. From Software is better than Naughty Dog, a.k.a. Joe Reedy. Thank you. Derek Bauer, Adam Foote, Spencer Knowlton, Valentine, Kevin Eccles, Ryan McQueen, Johnny Rios, Derek Allred, Ryan Baker, Michael Beck, Matt Nelson, Jeffrey Kale, David Broshinsky, Roger Allen, Austin Beauregard, Morty, Brian Lee, Conrad Southworth, and Adam Hecht. Thank you guys so much. And if you want to contribute to the show, go to patreon.com/Beauregard. Gadget Spot.
Pick the worst time to do that every time, James.
It's so
we
worth
did.
Well, thank you, Patreon
Yep,
Yeah.
thank you.
People. You are the best.
And we even got some emails.
So we got one from Morty. Morty emailed us.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
What's Morty got to say, Owen? Because this is pretty much for you.
This is pretty much for me since I have one.
Yep.
I have a lot of baby gadgets, so that's kind of what this is about. So he says, "Hey, Gadget Spot, it's Morty here. Always really enjoyed the reactions to the Rick and Morty characters, but ran out of options, so sticking with Morty for now. Also been busy with work and the subject of my email, so made it easier not to change weekly." He's talking about changing his name. He's our Rick and Morty guy.
Yep.
Oh, the subject then you should know since you referenced it is baby gadgets and tech.
This is why I read email, by the way.
Huh. It's also why you're friendless.
Oh,
Sick burn. Yeah.
That was a good one.
It hurts because it's accurate.
I enjoyed it. It was so accurate. I liked it.
you can tell when he kind of like takes a step back and like eyeballs you. It's like, oh,
Here
this
it
is gonna
comes.
hurt.
Here it comes.
I'm gonna need to wear a
I don't-
sweater vest tomorrow.
Sorry. I'm sorry. It's been a rough week.
Don't apologize.
Now getting the point. I'm having a baby. Well, my wife is at the end of September. Woohoo. If I remember correctly, James
Hey.
and his wife are expecting.
Wait, who said this?
Congratulations,
This is
Morty.
Yeah, this is Morty.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So they're expecting. And so is James.
Yeah.
And congratulations, he says.
Thanks.
So with Jarron, Owen, and now James having kids, do you have any recommendations on baby gadgets and tech? For example, I was looking
I
into a
got some.
device called the owlett.
Oh, yep. There it is.
Have you heard of this? It is a smart sock that goes on baby's foot to transmit oxygen and heart rate while they sleep. It has a base station that sounds an alarm if we need it, and all the data syncs to the app. Seemed like a cool piece of tech I was considering. Do any of the panelists have one of these? And if so, what are your thoughts? I know there are a ton of different things out there for babies, from strollers, video monitors, baby swings, bottle warmers, etc. What have you found useful to parents and babies that also fills the itch for dad to buy his tech needs? We do care. Morty.
So I'm going to start this one off because he actually answered my question, which was the owlett.
I have that.
Yeah. So from what I've heard, it apparently alleviates a lot of the sleepless nights or stress that you would have from a baby that like would pass away while you sleep.
It depends on who you talk to, I think.
Let me give you the rundown.
Oh,
Okay.
I was the optimist.
I know. I love the owlett. Let me get that out of the way first. The owlet's awesome.
But how much is it?
$300.
$300. That is how much it
I
is.
forgot because we financed it and paid more than that. Anyway, so
Oh, that's a 1070. Sorry, continue.
Well,
so I'll talk about the owlett. That's kind of what I know, and then other gadgets that I have. But the owlett is really cool. It does transmit. We have found we had issues with it because we have a 5G network and a 2.4. It's only 2.4 compatible, which sucks because when I'm not on the 2.4 gigahertz network, sometimes it doesn't connect and I can't see.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it says even though the router is broadcasting both radios and it should have no problem swinging between the two, it has issues.
Is this the fault of the outlet or your router?
I think it's the app. If I reboot the router, it made no difference. So it could be some sort of forwarding issue. I don't know, but it could also be Android because my wife's phone kind of had a problem, but sometimes not. She had problems on both networks. So what happens is the app says lost connection to base station. The base station and the sock are communicating across Bluetooth. They're good.
Right.
And so if the baby's heart stops or the oxygen goes too low, the base station will start doing a little lullaby song.
Mm-hmm.
But the phone app won't because it can't find it. So you reboot the stuff, it works. We found that after a while I just tore down the networks and rebuilt them. So it very well could be my router. I'm running Tomato firmware on a R8000 Nighthawk.
Should have done Merlin. It would have worked.
No, Merlin's horrible. Anyway,
it's because it's his last name.
no.
What?
Cool.
No, his last name's Merrill, not Merlin.
My name isn't Jarron Merlin.
I wish it was, though.
That's really cool, and it's close. You were so
Keep
close.
going.
Anyway,
Keep going.
the outlet sock monitor. So it's actually a really cool device. It does alert you. However, it's supposed to alleviate the stress of the parents, right? So you can go downstairs and do whatever, sleep at night. It really depends on the sensitivity of said parents. So my wife was super. I mean,
My wife
is super sensitive about SIDS and sudden infant death syndrome and all that stuff. And so even though she had the sock monitor on, she still like didn't sleep very much at night. I slept like a baby, pardon the pun.
Hey-o.
But
So you were getting up every 2 hours?
But
No.
the problem is
yeah.
that's not the owlet's fault.
no,
That's
That-
a user issue.
exactly. So and that's why it's kind of your mileage may vary based on
Yeah.
the.
How long did you
Based
end
on
up
the-
using it for?
We still use it every night.
Okay.
So my son now is 7 months old, and we use it every night. We had when he was born, it was right in the heat of that really bad flu season
Mm-hmm.
that was going around, and the whole family got the flu, and he didn't, but we were like waiting for him to get it, and it was
Right.
really bad for infants. So it never happened, but the sock monitor helped a lot for us to be able to not just stare at him in his crib and watch his chest go up and down, which if you've ever had a scare, when my other kids were little, we had the swine flu come out, which was kind of a huge scare too. So I just sat and
Sounds
stared
like
at
a
them.
product release.
Yeah. Anyway, so Alex sock monitor, is it worth $300?
Questionable.
They
huh?
know
Questionable.
you'll pay $300.
You will.
It's like anything with babies.
Yeah,
they just
exactly.
charge so much money.
We haven't
Strollers.
used anything like that. We have a Nest as a video monitor.
Yep.
And I actually don't like Nest as a video monitor at all.
I
Why
hate
not?
it. We switched to it, and I hate it.
Yeah,
Why?
it only does notifications every 30 minutes. So if anything happens between that 30 minutes, it won't notify you at all.
Well, that's
Ours
dumb.
goes. No, I don't. I didn't use the Nest. We got the Amazon one. We
Oh,
did
yeah?
the Amazon Cloud Cam for ours.
Wait. So if what is that the same with like outside Nest cameras too?
I'm not sure about outside, but the indoor Nest cams, that's
So
just what happened. You can't disable it.
I actually asked you about that because we were considering Nest over the Amazon Cloud Cam, and you said don't do the Nest because of the updates. And the Amazon Cloud Cam is fantastic. You have those, right? Or do you
Nope.
just use Nest?
I have a Nest.
So we went with the Amazon Cloud Cam. It's really cool because it hooks to your Amazon account, and it does these little 5-minute snippets. It detects motion, like motion detected on camera, whatever, like all the time. So if the baby's moving around, it jumps over there. But what we don't like is you can't pan, tilt, or zoom. Or you can zoom, but you can't pan or tilt the camera.
Right. It's got no-
And you can't. That one we got specifically because we can access it from outside. We wanted to be able to get in babysitters and watch if she's sleeping while we're at a movie or whatever. And
the Nest doesn't have any pan.
No, it doesn't.
They're all
features either.
No,
Yeah.
not many cameras do at this
yeah.
point.
You
Yeah.
kind of have to go
well,
baby
consumer
cam.
friendly cameras.
You kind of have to go baby cam for that. But there's a big in the Internet of Things, that's kind of one of the big security flaws is that most people that buy these gadgets don't change the default passwords. And so there have been some pretty creepy horror stories of people hacking the cameras remotely and watching kids and talking to kids.
Oh my gosh.
There's some video that you can actually pull up on YouTube where you can hear the two kids that are just, script kiddies or whatever that have hacked into this video cam like, hey, kid. And then the mom walks in, you hear them go, oh, she's in the room. And then they cut out like it's pretty crazy.
That's
so
creepy.
So if you're going to go for that,
Jeez.
look for some highly reviewed ones in the security section. If you're going to get some video Nest baby monitors that connect to the internet, we actually took that one down. The other thing we realized with my daughter, she's 2.5 now, but for the first year of her life, she slept horribly. Not every 2 hours, Jarron. It was like every 45 minutes she was out screaming.
Yeek.
We figured out that the webcam that we had, the baby cam that we had purchased. Have you guys ever gone to the mosquitotest.com and heard what range you're at?
Yeah.
I'm at the range of like a 50-year-old hearing. I can't hear anything below like at a certain range anymore.
Yeah.
We found out after about a year and a half of being in complete hell that the baby camera was emitting
A high-pitched
a
frequency.
high-pitched frequency that her ears could hear. And we started noticing about 8 months after we started using it, every time we'd go to check on her because I'm like, hey, is she cool? I thought I heard her. We're watching a show downstairs or a movie. We'd check on her, and then 5 minutes later, she'd be up screaming. And we're like, why? And it took us 8 months to figure out the coincidence that it's every time it was 5 to 10 minutes after we turned on the baby cam every single time.
Jeez.
That's crazy.
Because they have a mic built into them, so you
Yeah.
can actually talk through it. Also, never do that.
I'm sure
Most
it
cameras,
terrifies the kids.
terrifies the kids. I did it one time and spent the rest of the day saying sorry to my daughter.
Through the camera?
I was like, hey, my daughter's name is Aria. I was like, hey, Aria. She was like, ah, just horrible for the rest of the day, and she hated it. From
My
'cause
baby just looks at it confused.
what the? Anyway, so I like baby cams, like baby monitors that you can access from outside on the internet, because it really, really does help when you're like out at a movie when you've got babysitters and you do it at night.
Right.
But be wary of the reviews for security, and also whether or not they emit a high-pitched frequency.
Well, I have those Arlo cameras, those Netgear Arlo cameras.
Oh yeah, I've
We
never used them.
Yeah, we got 3 of them for when we went to Japan, and since then I took them down, and now I'm looking to sell them. So
Yeah.
if anybody
didn't
wants
like
them, I don't really need them.
No,
I don't live in a high crime area.
they were outside.
Yep,
They were inside.
they were inside.
Oh, you use them when you get a kid.
Then there's so much nude footage of me floating
Mhm.
around in that Netgear cloud,
Oh, yes, there is.
Right.
because I would always forget that it's there.
That's
and
the other thing you have
I
to
didn't
remember
forget.
constantly. We've had some pretty intense apparent conversations with the baby monitor still in our room and the monitor downstairs.
Oh, no.
Yeah, not like adult. I mean, there's been adult conversations, but like we've been like
Your kids are like, what's
swearing,
happening?
swearing
Make it
about
stop."
swearing about the ex, and you
Yeah.
know, just parent life in general. And the kids will be like, "What do you mean we can't go to camping this year, Dad?"
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? Like, we heard it on the monitor. So,
Dang it.
girl, don't listen to that kid.
That's not me.
That must have been someone else.
That was
hacked
somebody
in.
else. Yeah. You know, you trust Daddy, right? That wasn't him.
Jeez.
We got a Facebook message from our favorite, AJ Jasper.
Yeah.
Oh man, I
Oh,
saw this
this
and I
is
was
great.
like, "You,
It came in today as
You're-
I was driving down here.
you're
Yeah.
a good man."
He says, just ordered my 2080 Ti
Oh, we're gonna get to that. And
to upgrade my two 960s. It's a happy
Wait.
day, and I had to let someone know since my wife and friends are not PC people. And I had to say something to PC people.
I am.
Thank you.
I am so proud of you.
Yes.
Wait,
AJ,
also
well
way to
done.
go for holding out on the 960s.
Right?
Like, that's a good
I
good
couldn't-
jump.
I couldn't do it. I tried for 4 months on my 970s, and I caved and had to do the 1080s.
I'm so excited about the 2080 Ti.
And now I'm so excited about the 2080 Ti that I don't know if I'll be able to stop myself from upgrading.
So
again.
Jarron and I have been contemplating how long Tony's going to last before he orders these. He's like, nope, it's not in the budget. He was like swearing it up and down.
How
He
much
was like
better
saying
are
no.
they? Like
That's
realistically
talk
speaking,
about it.
We'll talk about
Yeah,
it.
well,
We'll
they're
get to that.
enough to make Tony reconsider his
sorry.
financial future.
2 of them. Are you gonna get 2?
We'll talk about it.
All right.
Yeah. So good job, Alan. AJ, way to go.
Yeah. So anyway, with Morty,
Oh,
look into reviews. Sorry, I just wanted to finish that email up.
Oh,
Look
I
into
thought- I
reviews.
thought we were
no,
good.
look at. I want to say we kind of jumped off the tech stuff and didn't really finish out his email. So anyway, thanks for the email. Do reviews. Look at reviews and get the owlett. It's worth it.
there you go.
$300. It's worth it.
All right. Is that it for messages then?
That's it.
Cool. Okay, so we got a lot to talk about. So,
So much.
granted, a lot of it's probably just going to be us going, "Oh, it looks so good."
I intend to cry a little bit about cryptocurrency.
Okay.
Yeah, just a
Yeah,
little.
just get that out of the way.
All right, let's talk about some games. Some games first.
The Boomsday is dropping for Hearthstone.
Okay, let's keep it going on something else.
All right.
Game related. At QuakeCon, they showed a whole bunch more gameplay footage of Doom Eternal.
It looks so awesome.
It looks really, really cool. So they're calling it Doom Eternal. It's basically Doom 2.
It takes place on Earth.
Takes place on Earth. Hell is unleashed on Earth. You are the Doom Slayer once again, and you have to beat the demons back to their realm.
So this is a follow-up to
Yeah,
this last
follow-up
game.
to
It's
Doom
not like a
2016.
patch then to the.
No, it's a
oh,
full-on
cool.
new game.
And the coolest part of it, you have a super shotgun with a
Flesh hook.
flesh meat hook thing that you can use to,
You basically launch it at bad guys and then use that to pull yourself toward the bad guy.
it's like a
And then
grappling hook.
shoot them
And
with
then
the
shoot-
shotgun.
Yes, and then shoot
Oh,
them with the
It
man.
looks
shotgun.
so awesome.
The
It's the hook shot from Zelda.
Yeah, but cooler. They said that it is a new graphics engine, basically a new version of the id Tech 7, and it looks like everything that was awesome about Doom 2016 turned up to 11. Graphically, gameplay wise, everything about it just looks super neat.
And if you haven't played Doom 2016, it's super cheap now. Go get it.
Yeah, and
that's-
I took back my review of that game. That game's so good.
Yeah, you just had to get into it.
Yeah,
you had
it
to start
took-
playing it better.
It takes a minute. and it's that game is good.
It's
playing it on
way
the
It
good.
Switch?
like doesn't take itself too seriously, but it's still like a really, really good game.
Yeah. What was funny about when they presented it is at first they showed gameplay of what it's like playing with a controller, with like a Xbox controller, and then they said, okay, now we're going to show you what can be done on the PC and on the mouse and keyboard. And you watch the difference between the two video clips is like night and day. The keyboard and mouse stuff, super just like fluid and fast. It's crazy the amount of destruction that guy, whoever it was that was playing with the keyboard and mouse. I mean, it was just nuts. They have this really cool aspect of the engine now where you blow chunks off of the bigger demons and expose their skeletal system and stuff as you go.
That is my favorite. That's like one of the reasons why I like the Battlefield games so much more than the Modern Warfare games, because of the destructible environments.
Yeah.
And now you're telling me that I have destructible demons?
Yes. In one of the videos, you fight I don't know which demon it is, but he's a really big. He basically looks like a giant minotaur without horns.
Yeah.
And by the end of that fight, the guy
He's all covered in blood.
has basically blown off 2/3 of the thing's skin, and you can see like its muscle structure and rib cage and everything. It's so
That's cool.
cool.
I can't wait to play the down-res version on the Switch.
Destructible enemies.
Yeah.
It is coming out on the Switch too.
And they said day one on Switch.
Yeah.
They're shooting for a launch across every console and PC at the same time.
And I feel like Panic Button is getting better at their ports because Wolfenstein 2 runs a little bit better than Doom.
Yeah, and that's a bigger game
Yeah.
too than Doom is. So,
Yep.
yeah, I'm very, very excited for that game. Digital Foundry did a video on it, and it was the John Linneman and Alex, their PC guy, their new PC guy, and that video lasted 18 minutes, and a good half of it was them just going, "Oh, I love this. Oh, this part's so cool." Like they just gush all over it. Rightly so. I'm very excited for that game.
Too bad it doesn't have ray tracing.
Well, yeah. I was going to say too bad it doesn't have a release date yet.
That too. It could
But,
have ray tracing down the road.
Yeah, they could definitely integrate that if they wanted to, I bet. Okay, so Doom Eternal looks fantastic. They also showed off the day after that. Rockstar dropped an 8-minute video for Red Dead Redemption 2.
This game looks bonkers. The
Oh,
scope of this game
man.
is gigantic.
I've just been following trailers from it from last year's E3, or was it this year's E3?
No,
This
it was,
year's.
I
Yeah,
thought it
this
was
year.
last year's when they first released the footage of the dog in the mud.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
yeah,
was
that
like a big
last
internet
year.
thing.
And then
Yeah.
they had some more footage this year.
I thought it
And
was like
then-
September it was supposed to come out, right?
It's coming out in October.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
This
not
year.
bad.
This
I've
year.
just been following the the YouTube trailers and stuff for it, the gameplay trailers or whatever. They're
Yeah.
really awesome.
The graphics look stunning.
They do.
Like the mountains, the towns,
the
everything.
atmosphere of everything.
Yeah.
And definitely need to call out the animation of the characters and the horses. Everything moves so realistically.
And like the fur looks real too.
the fur looks
I haven't seen good fur in a long
This
time.
is the first Rockstar game.
You haven't seen good fur in a long time. We can't just glaze past that. Okay.
Anyway, this is the first Rockstar game that they've made that uses their Rage engine that they've built from the ground up for the Xbox One, PS4, and newer platforms. Everything else they've made in the past was either for 360 or PS3. Because let's think about this for a minute.
cross-gen.
It was cross-gen because the last big game they put out was GTA 5, and they've been expanding on that for the last couple of years.
Have you seen the timeline of Rockstar's games? It's
Yeah.
like 1 or 2 games a year, and then all of a sudden
and
they
then
hit
GTA 5.
Yeah, and then they're like, this is when they introduced what is it,
Microtransactions, yeah.
and then like nothing.
And they still made tons of money because people pay.
They still
for
do?
their,
They
for their
didn't need to. They
cosmetics.
didn't need to put it out there.
Yeah.
They didn't need to release a game every year.
But that
Exactly.
being said, I hope that that's one of the things where it's like, hey, we're going to take this time that we now actually have, and we're going to make a amazing game.
That's what I'm hoping.
Red Dead Redemption 2 looks so awesome. The graphics look amazing, but it looks way too big for me, and I'll probably never play it because of that.
Rockstar said it's the largest map they've ever done.
It's bigger than
Bigger
GTA
than
5.
GTA 5.
Because I have so many other games I want
Well,
to play so bad.
here's
When a map gets that big though, like I almost feel like it's fun to just get in and ride in a direction and see what you
Yeah.
find.
I just hope it's not like Shadow of War where they
That's a tedious game.
made
though,
it
kind of.
huge in all the wrong
Yeah.
ways.
Yeah. But the thing is like GTA 5, I remember when that first came out. I got it when it first came out, like, what was it, 2013 on the PS2?
No.
3?
PS3.
PS3,
Yeah.
yeah. And I remember thinking how big the world is, and now I hop into it, and it's like, it's not very big. Like
on
I
GTA 5.
That's
yeah,
what-
GTA
that's what
5.
she said.
I mean, it's big,
It's still
but
pretty
like,
big.
but like once you go everywhere, at least like 2 or 3 times, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
I kind of want a bigger map.
I can see that.
Now, Legend of Zelda though, Breath of the Wild.
That game is huge.
Oh, that is a big map.
Yeah.
So yeah, Red Dead Redemption 2 is looking really cool. It's coming out real soon, like in the next 2 months, 2.5 months, and it will be out for the current gen consoles: Xbox One, Xbox One X, PS4, and PS4 Pro.
Not PC.
Not PC as of yet.
Wah.
Yeah, kind of a bummer.
Not
But
for us, not in the PC Master Race.
But that's how GTA was, right? At first.
that's what I'm hoping for.
So
I know for a fact they never did Red Dead Redemption 1 because that game had a lot of struggles during its development, and actually if you go research it online, you'll see that there's a lot of ways that game is made, the coding, that just wouldn't translate to PC without a whole bunch of rewrite. So it's kind of a mess code-wise. But hopefully they restarted it from the ground up for Red Dead 2, and they'll be able to port it to the PC like they did for GTA 5 at some point. The footage that they showed for the game, I was going to note real quick, is actually for the PS4 Pro. They haven't shown any footage for the Xbox One X yet.
Wow, that looked amazing
Yeah,
too.
they looked really, really good. If you watch the Digital Foundry video on it, they talk about how the resolution that it runs on the PS4 Pro is it's not 1440p. It's higher than that. It's 1920 by 2160.
Oh, right. So like
Which
the
is-
horizontal resolutions have.
Exactly, and it's dynamic, so it can go up and down. But they
Yeah.
said basically it starts at 1920 by 2160, and then they have a temporal reconstruction that they use that makes it look pretty dang good. So yeah, I'm excited for that. Just for the visuals alone, even it looks awesome.
I just want to play it and walk into the mountains and do nothing. Just walk up to the mountain.
That's what I mean. Like it looks like you can, and
Just
it'll
head in a direction.
Look, guys, you know you can do this in real life, though, right?
What? Shut up.
And the outside is like
Quiet.
way bigger.
You can't
It's
die.
true, but you can also die, and you won't come back with an extra.
This is why I
life.
don't go camping.
So
You
yeah,
ca- You can't lie down on a couch while you're climbing up a mountain when you're outside.
that's a good
This is
point. You
true.
can't climb. You can't lay down while you're climbing. I don't want.
You almost sounded
any
like,
part
what's
of
his name?
that.
You can't lay down while you're climbing.
While you're climbing, you
But-
can't lay down.
Christopher Walken.
Like Christopher Walken.
Do we have,
That's what you're doing.
do we have any more? I think that's all the specific game news we have.
How can gaming systems get better, though? That's
so-
the thing. Is like,
Well, we're going to talk about that
Oh.
actually.
A lot better.
A lot better.
Yeah.
But let's save that for a minute. Let's talk a little bit about the Samsung Galaxy event.
whoop whoop.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that kind of got lost in the shuffle of all the really cool video game news in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, they announced the Galaxy Note 9. Bigger screen, bigger battery, more powerful pen.
Yep.
And that's about it.
That's about it.
It's super expensive. It's as much as the iPhone X or more, depending on what you get.
So
But
for
to its credit, though, you do get a ton of storage.
Yeah, for $1,000 you get 128 gig of storage plus SD expansion capability.
Oh, that's cool.
But the next step up,
But the next
8
step
gigs
up,
of RAM, 512 storage,
Built
plus
in.
micro SD expansion.
built in 512
You could
built
put 1 terabyte of storage in that phone.
it will support 512 micro SD cards, which are barely even on the market right now.
Right.
And it has 512, so you can have more storage in your phone than in your laptop.
It's
To what
insane.
end?
That's
Then you
what
just have to
everyone-
sift through 7,000 photos instead of 2,000
For the people like
photos.
me that every time I take a photo, I got to take at least 7 of those photos, so one actually works out. Then you
So-
end up with 300 gigs worth of stuff.
Good thing is it has 8 gigs of RAM. It has a
on
huge
on the higher end.
on the
too.
higher end.
On the
Otherwise,
128
it's
gig,
6. It's still incredible.
But yeah.
It has a huge 4,000 milliampere battery, which is like the previous generation was like 3,200, I think.
Yeah, and the S9 Plus is 3,500.
So it'll definitely get you through a full day. Has a headphone jack. Hooray, Samsung!
Hooray!
Thank you.
Thank you.
And the weirdest thing of all, it's water cooled.
They use that term pretty dang loosely.
They do, but
They say it's liquid cooled in a, what do they call it? A vapor? I don't know what they call it. It's a vapor chamber though. GPUs have had this technology for a while, and it's not actually liquid cooled. It just means that there's liquid vapor inside the heatsink that transfers heat better than
Oh, I
just
see.
pure metal.
Sounds like liquid to me.
I mean, I guess
Supposedly
it
they'll
is.
keep it running cooler, so you can play Fortnite on it, which is exclusively in the Samsung store, not in the Google Play Store. Yay,
Had a
Android.
rocky start because of that.
Yeah,
Had a
it
rocky
did.
launch because of that.
But on the same side of things, they're screwing Google out of a lot of money.
Yeah.
Because Google takes 30% of microtransactions, just like
Oh.
Apple.
And
Right.
Samsung's
It's standard.
and Samsung's kind of screwing the consumer because you won't get the latest version of Android. It's gonna be a while.
Yeah, thanks Samsung. Android P's out, by the way.
I've been
Yeah.
using that. It's fantastic.
Yep, I'm on not P.
Oh.
So what are a couple of the features?
I'm not even on the latest version of O.
Yeah, so don't buy this because you will not get the latest version and you will regret it. So
Wait.
There's better
What's a
phones out
feature of LMNOP?
Pi?
What's a feature of P?
So I've liked the battery life. It's changed for me.
It's supposed to extend your battery life.
Yeah, battery life has been better, and the layout's a little bit better for like.
Yep, UI.
Yeah, the UI is a little bit better. They have had some issues with rapid charging, and I've been subject to that on the Pixel. I have the Pixel XL.
I heard it
and-
only happened to the Pixel XL though.
Yeah,
Pixel XL 1.
yeah, which is what I have. But
Right.
they know about the bug, and they just ignored it because they're like Pixel XL. We don't care about them.
So they're not going to fix it?
They because of it being identified on their radar that they
Oh.
ignored it at launch. Then people are like,
Jeez.
"Why'd you do that? Don't you care about us?" And Google's like, "No. It's assigned." So now it's set to assigned. So now it's got a
This sounds like the ticketing system where I work.
yeah, which means it'll be assigned for another 2 years. Then
Yeah.
the Pixel XLs will just all be off the market, and they'll be like resolved because we don't support Pixel XL anymore.
Yep.
So
I put
that's
it-
how Google works.
I put in this ticket 2 weeks ago. It says it's still in the on the unassigned queue. Oh, hang on a sec. Assigned to this person. Okay, it's been assigned. We'll make sure we
Yeah.
get a look at that
Yep.
for you.
it's like, hey, it fixed itself. Did you do anything? Totally.
yeah.
Yep.
Yep. What'd you do?
You're welcome.
Did you just have to reboot? Yeah, I rebooted and then it worked. Okay, cool. If you could lead with that next time, that'd be good.
If you don't care about your software experience, which is the most important thing of a smartphone, then go ahead, get the Note 9. You will love the phone.
I would say it is the second most important.
How's the
thing.
camera, Jaron? That's
Camera
what I expect.
So the S9 has a wonderful, great camera, and this only improves on it because it has a dual camera system.
Well, S9 has mine has dual camera.
Oh, okay. I guess it doesn't improve on
S9
it
Plus
that
has
much.
dual camera.
All right.
Yeah, I think it has slightly better color accuracy, but I think that's just down to software tweaks that they've done. I don't think there's a hardware difference between the two camera wise.
I doubt it. It has the same processor as the S9.
Yeah, Snapdragon 845, same RAM, except if you pay $12.50, you get 8 gigs instead of 6.
So did you choose the S9 Plus there?
I did, yeah, when it came out a couple of months ago.
And how are you liking that?
Great hardware. I'm pretty ticked off that I still have Android O though.
Does it operate as can you call people?
It does. I can.
Can you text people?
Yes.
What
Most
about
of the time.
What about the internet? Does it go on the
It's got
interweb?
that, yeah.
What
Can
about
it shut up James?
Questionable.
ha?
Hey, it worked.
It works. I love it.
So Samsung actually did a I think it was Samsung. They actually did a news article. I'm trying to find it, but I'm not going to find it in time to make it relevant. So I'm just going to say what I remember from the brief headline that I read. But Samsung issued
Allegedly via Owen.
Yeah. So there's no backing story because I'm too lazy to go actually find it because I was looking through a lot of sites when I read the headline. I was like,
You're not lazy.
I was
buddy.
like, this will never come up, and here it is. We're talking about Samsung, and you're pissed off about your updates, and they actually did They actually came out and said why it takes them so long.
No, that was Sony.
Yeah.
That was Sony.
Was that Sony?
It was Sony.
Yeah,
not
it was
Samsung.
Sony that did it. Okay.
Dang it.
But it's the same idea where they're just like, look, okay, it's hard. We have to do things to make it work, and anyway.
There's like 9 or 10 steps to it, and only one of the steps was customizing the UI.
Yeah.
We have to pay people to get it done, and we don't want to pay more people to make it faster.
At the end of the day, it all just comes down to money, though.
It does, 100%.
Yep.
Okay, so actually, we're going to go back to gaming slightly with this news from Amazon about Amazon Prime.
Yeah. Did you guys ever use that? The Amazon Prime 20% discount for video game purchases?
I don't because I only buy digital.
I'm having a hard time
I know
linking
people.
my Prime account to Twitch.
It's done. You don't get live stream anymore on Twitch.
What?
Yeah, that's a thing coming out, right?
No.
No, I'm not looking for live stream.
Oh.
I'm talking about like Twitch Prime offers like rewards.
All you have to do is sign in under your Amazon Prime account.
I did.
Then you're in. You're done.
Oh.
It's
Well,
all,
okay.
It's all the same at this point because they own it.
Oh.
Yeah. Good job. You did it.
Yay.
So I know several people that take advantage of the 20% off if you pre-order a physical copy of the game.
Right.
Yeah.
That's Amazon's done that. They're
They've done that for,
discontinuing. They're discontinuing that now.
Well, yeah.
But they're replacing with like a credit system where you get $10 back.
So it's kind of like an 8% off. Now
It takes
instead of
35 days to get the
Did I say
$10
8?
credit.
It's not 8.
16. I meant 16.
Yeah. So they give you then 35 days. You'll finally get the credit on your account. And
It
then
takes $35 to credit it?
35 days.
Or
to
35
get,
days,
yeah,
I mean, yeah.
to get there.
Wow.
And then you have like a month or so to make an Amazon purchase with that credit.
See, that's kind of chintzy.
Yeah.
You
So
know?
what I was talking about, James, is that Twitch Prime ends ad-free viewing. They're ending their ad-free
Oh.
viewing.
What?
Yeah.
Twitch Prime?
Mhm.
I thought the whole point was to pay for it
Twitch-
so you don't get advertisements
Yep.
and you get some cool bonuses. What's the point of
Where did you put
having
that
it?
in the notes?
I didn't. I just remember seeing it was another headline I breezed past. I didn't think it was going to come up. I didn't think it was relevant.
Well, it did come
So
up.
Twitch Prime will have ads
Twitch Prime
now.
ends ad-free viewing. Amazon Prime pre-order discount reduced.
Man, I saw a tweet from one of my friends out there. I don't know if he listens or not, but Kyle, one of my friends, Kyle, out there, I saw a tweet that said, I feel like my Prime membership is becoming more useless.
Yeah. They're
By the
starting to
month.
see.
Seriously,
Yeah.
and the 2-day shipping is like 5-day shipping.
You
now.
want
Yeah.
to know something funny? I bought something on Prime Day and I got it literally 4 days ago.
Prime
And it
Day
had
was like,
Prime.
that was
Me
like a
too.
month ago.
Yeah, I just barely got something like a month ago.
What did you get?
Big Bang Theory season 10 or
Oh,
something?
I got a micro SD card. I was just wondering if you got a micro SD card.
No.
No, that's even worse, though, because that's two different items. It's
Yeah.
like if it was the same item, you're like, okay, well, they must have had a
Well, that's why I was wondering if you
Yeah.
maybe got
they
it.
must have had a problem with that specific product. But no, we're talking about two completely unrelated
I
types of
was
products.
blown away because it was 120 gigs micro SD for like $20.
Yeah,
So I was like, sweet.
way good
Sweet.
deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, freaking month.
That's crazy. I agree. I think they're to the point now where they know that they have people,
Yeah.
and that they're not gonna. They can.
What are they going to
slowly-
do?
They can
Buy
slowly,
online somewhere else?
Yeah, exactly. They can slowly start milking them for more.
I do like their video service still.
They can milk them for more and give them less for.
They got to get
The
people
job.
out. They got to get people
Bezos.
outside of their Whole Food stores. now.
Though I hate their
Yeah.
ads that they're adding into Amazon Prime TV.
Yep.
They're adding ads into Amazon Prime.
Yeah, for their other shows.
What?
Uh-huh.
Are we
Well,
gonna-
I thought that was just Netflix because I heard
Netflix.
Netflix is doing that.
No, Amazon's doing it right now.
Both of them?
Yeah, whenever I boot up Mr. Rogers, because I love to watch the Mr. R, it shows like another clip of one of their stupid
Yep.
kid shows.
They call it.
come on.
They're trying to rebrand ads into suggestions. So
Yeah.
I'd appreciate if you use that moniker.
Oh,
And
jeez.
actually, Netflix has actually come out and said we test hundreds of things every year, and it's not an ad; it's a TV show that we are suggesting
Yeah.
that you
Oh, that's-
watch.
yeah.
And I'm just like, wait. So let me get this straight. So you're going through my analytics to see what I would like to target me for something. It seems like you're advertising your show to me, but you're not calling that an ad. but-
Those breakfast cereal commercials I saw growing up, it was
It's
just
like-
a suggestion.
We're just
Right.
Somebody in PR married somebody in marketing, and they were like, ads just have a bad name.
Yeah,
we just
let's
got to
fix that.
rebrand the name. Just got to get rid of the name ad,
Yeah.
and people be like,
Suggest.
suggestions.
What are you suggesting? Oh, hey.
This is a suggestion that I
Hey.
can't skip.
At least with the Amazon ads, you can fast forward through them.
Oh.
So that's nice.
Well, Netflix is doing it. They're kind of in their own series in which where they control the ad.
They're suggesting their own series.
They're
to you.
suggesting.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, at least it's not outside ads.
Yeah.
But still, it's
It's
lame.
it's one more step towards that.
Exactly.
Once the investors get a slight taste of that revenue of more shows, of more people like watching and whatever.
Oh, hey, then we're back to network TV.
That's
Mhm.
exactly.
Wait,
We'll be back
yeah.
to. Well, I mean, this is the same model cable and satellite have had for decades.
Yeah.
You pay a subscription to them, and they still serve you up ads, so they make money off your subscription, and they make ad.
Oh,
revenue.
they're double dipping.
Yeah. And
Hulu's
so-
been doing that forever too. Like,
Well, at least Hulu has another tier you
Yeah.
can
Yeah,
pay
that's
without
true.
ads.
and it's
That's
only
true.
like $2 a month more.
right.
I want to know what the atmosphere is like at Netflix every time Disney acquires another company. It's like, what? Who did they just buy?
I
For
don't
their-
think
for their app?
I don't think they care because they made more money than Disney did last year.
Yeah, but Disney's going to come out with their own streaming app.
Yeah.
and
that's
pull.
more
And it's got
competition.
Star Wars. That's all that counts.
Well,
Come on.
they're gonna-
almost all of Star Wars.
Don't they? They have content they let Netflix broadcast, though, right? They're going to pull all that when they
The
start their
last Marvel movie that's going to be on Netflix is Ant-Man and the Wasp.
own- Oof.
See, I read two different sources.
Well, their contract expires next year.
I heard it was Ant-Man and the Wasp, but I also heard it was Captain Marvel.
Really?
Yeah, who knows?
So I don't know which one it is, but yeah, you can bet that as the Disney Netflix contract expires, it's not going to be renewed. They're going to just.
Why would they?
Yeah, they're just going to put everything on their own.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
So
And then,
But then
you
they
have
got to
to
convince people to start another service, like
then you have
another
to pay
paid
for
service.
another service. CBS All Access, Disney, Hulu,
you gotta
Netflix,
say-
DC.
Amazon, DC.
Yeah, that's what it'll turn into. They'll all have their own online streaming content, and
I'd be okay if it was cheaper.
Isn't this kind of what we wanted though? A la carte cable.
It is, and that's what I mean. Like, I'd be okay with this if each one wasn't charging like $12 a month.
yeah.
Yeah.
If I could get each service for like $7 a month, which is why I don't feel too bad about CBS All Access. If CBS All Access had more than one show that I wanted to watch, I'd be okay with
What's
it.
the one show?
Star Trek
Star
Discovery.
Trek. Well, they will have another show, Star Trek with Jean-Luc
I
Picard,
know,
whatever
so,
it's
I
called.
mean, I'm in on that. So
Yeah.
You like the money? You go get the money.
So yeah, that was sad news about the ads there.
Well, and don't forget, WWE also has their own streaming app.
Oh, that is
If
necessary.
you want to watch oiled up men wrestling.
Yes.
Well, who doesn't?
So I threw that link in there for the ad
Yeah,
free. So
I saw that. We'll be able to link to that right on. And we covered the Netflix one too. Okay, so back to a little bit on games. Battlefield 5 open beta starts in a couple of weeks.
Can I tell you guys how
And
sad I
so
am?
it's really neat that it's an open beta because Call of Duty makes you pre-order the game usually if you want to get
Boo.
on their open beta. Now, what were you saying about James?
Okay, I'm excited to have a kid in October. Really excited. Over the moon.
On topic.
I wanted
Yeah,
to be a
does this
dad for a
relate?
while.
Does
Yeah. I'll bring it back. But can I tell you that like this is the first big game that's releasing post baby that I'm sitting there just like I probably shouldn't pre-order this.
nope.
Well, I say that about every game. Don't pre-order anything. Pre-ordering's the worst.
Yeah, but he's saying maybe never.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
that's
like the
different.
first big game to come out post baby.
You got a
I am
decision
keeping
to
a
make.
pre-order though. I do have one game
So-
pre-ordered right now, and that's Super Smash Brothers.
James,
Well, okay.
let me give you a tip.
Just the tip. though.
Brand new babies, they sleep all day.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
you'll be able to play games.
But I also binge play games and ignore things that I need to do. That's why I'm glad that I have the personality that I have, that
why
I
you
get
have a
really
wife.
into something and then I
Yeah.
stop.
That's bad, Jarron. That was bad. I caught that.
That's why you
What?
have a wife.
But you work all day.
Hey!
So, James, you work all day, so it's not like your nights are free right now. But when you have a baby, the nights don't.
Oh
they're
yeah,
not as
my
free.
days and nights are gonna be.
Yeah, so it's like I get it. I've been there. You kind of have to just have a funeral.
Gotta
for
be-
your
or maybe just be extra choosy
yeah.
about what you play, what you want to spend
Really,
your time on.
here's
Or just play 2 hours of every game out there like I do.
I got
Yeah.
caught in the never play, and it just your time gets sucked up no matter what you do. So as I've been trying to reevaluate and change my life to be happier, I've setting a schedule and saying I need X amount. Like defining what you want is key.
Heck
Like
yeah.
what do you want?
Well,
How many
see,
hours do you want a week? You
exactly.
kind of have to do it per week instead of per day now because
My-
you're going to have less time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my wife is the same way. She would just run herself ragged between doing cosmetology stuff
Right.
at the house or at work or whatever. And I was like, look, you needed to set aside like 4 hours every couple of days, just you time. You know, and in that time you do whatever you want to do.
You don't feel like
But
you
you don't feel-
wasting and vegging away isn't like. I totally get what you're saying because like if I just sit there and I'm not doing anything, it's like I need to be creating something or I need to be doing something or else
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm contributing.
I waste so much time just sitting on the couch staring at my phone doing nothing.
It's key. It's
It's
key.
horrible.
It's key that you choose. If your choice is to watch paint dry, that's your thing.
That's
but
your
my,
thing.
My
Yeah.
problem though is I do something like Battlefield, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to set an egg timer for 40 minutes. But then like
Well, you gotta
once it
give
goes off, I need to like.
You look around, you're
Be
like,
able
well,
to stop.
nothing's
You
really
gotta.
happening.
I would say
It's
you
like,
got to go
what?
more than 40 minutes though.
But
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like even
Yeah.
if it's like 3 hours, like once it goes off, it's like, well, one more game. Because as soon as somebody's telling me that I
Yeah.
can't do something, I want to do it.
That's where the willpower comes in.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah.
that's hard to find. I get you there.
Yep.
And waking up in the morning.
If you had a 2080 Ti, you would lose all willpower.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Ooh.
Oh, baby.
I was not. I didn't know what to expect because of all the hype. And
This
all
blew
the,
my mind.
And all the hype, all the leaks. I loved his line at the beginning. He's like, "This is the most leaked hardware we've ever had ever."
Yeah.
And then he's like, "And everything's false."
Which they weren't. He
Yeah.
he fibbed on that.
Yeah.
A lot of the leaks were accurate as far as like CUDA core count, memory, how much memory it has, stuff like that.
And even what it's called.
And yeah, even what it's called. Well, it was funny when he came out on stage and after his little spiel, he's like, "I want to show you guys the new 1180."
And everybody's like, "Yeah, 1180."
And
He
then-
named it.
Well, no, everyone was dead silent at first, remember?
I
And he
love-
just sat there and stared at the crowd. And then they're like, "Yay!" Like, not sure if he's serious.
I
or
love-
not.
And there was much rejoicing. Yay.
So I loved watching his jokes flop. That
Oh
was
my
like
gosh.
that was like one of my favorite
They're
parts of the
so
presentation was he would tell a joke and everybody's just like, "Dude, just get to the facts, man."
Now, part of it is the audience isn't mic'd up. So
Right.
there might have been laughter that we couldn't hear.
Yeah, that's true.
For sure.
Or it could have been like a boss at a Christmas party that isn't
little
talking about the
bit,
bonus.
Yeah, but there was
to
plenty
the
of moments in the presentation where you could hear the audience clearly laughing and clapping.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I really enjoy watching him present. Every time he gets on stage, I know it's going to be A, informative, and B, usually funny on purpose or not.
right.
So what
It
you're
was
saying is just
super
entertaining in
informative.
one way or another.
Yeah,
Did you
so-
guys learn?
so
I learned more about the way that things are rendered in light sources than I've ever
that's the
cared
thing.
to know before.
We were talking about this earlier. This keynote and most keynotes that Jensen Huang does. How do you say his name?
What's his name?
Jensen Huang.
Cool.
Huang?
Cool.
Huang?
Cool,
Huang?
Cool.
So he's the CEO and founder of NVIDIA, and anytime he gets on stage, he usually does a lot of teaching. I mean, it's almost like a class.
It's weird to see a CEO
Because-
so involved with the product.
Yeah.
And not just like, "Hey, I run this place. I've got all these people that report to me, and at a high level, I know what's going on."
No.
For him to understand light sources and what he like, how he was so
Either-
excited. He was so excited about this
That's
project.
what I like so much
Yeah.
about his.
He was like going back and
presentations.
forth between two pictures, the penumbra and the umbra,
Yeah.
whatever, of like different shadows.
So either he studies his stuff really well before his presentation, or he actually just knows exactly what's
Yeah.
going on.
He's got to know
and
what's
I
going
think he
on.
just knows what's going
Yeah.
on because there was no hesitation in any of it. Like he's like, okay,
And you could feel his excitement when
And
he was
he's
like, "No, go back.
excited,
Now go
yeah.
back. Now go back." Because they could just. So one of the
It's
cool
like the
things
compl-
about that is you can turn it on and off.
yeah,
At will.
you can enable it
Yeah.
or disable it like that.
Yeah.
Ray
We're
tracing.
talking about ray tracing,
Ray tracing
exactly.
specifically.
And I was going to say that his keynotes are almost the opposite of Apple keynotes.
Right.
Because Apple keynotes, they come up and basically want to tell you about their product
And it's magic.
and just say it's
We've
magic.
just don't worry.
This-
Our engineers have
yeah.
taken all the
Yeah.
all the smart out of this.
All you have
You
to do
just buy it.
is push the button.
You
and
just
you enjoy
buy it. Okay.
And I think there's good attributes to both
Sure.
types of keynote.
But with this one from NVIDIA, he gets up and the first hour of the hour and 45
Yeah.
minutes
It's explaining the
keynote
tech.
is explaining the tech in detail and where they started with this tech, 30 years ago.
That was such a cool timeline. If you get a chance to watch it, go out and watch it. But
Yeah, the
it
first
showed-
instance of ray tracing was
Yeah.
in 1979.
which
Yeah.
is so cool. That was when the theory was created, but they couldn't do anything with it because it costs so much.
right to render.
to render it.
Well, they did render like what he said, like 60 pixels, and it took how many
It was,
supercomputers?
60 pixels
At
a
20
second.
frame. Oh yeah, at
Or was it
40
less than
40
that?
pixels a second?
Yeah,
or
something like that.
Yeah,
Anyway,
pixels, not
Then-
frames.
Not frames, exactly. Pixels. The other cool thing that I liked about that was he mentions the guy that like basically invented the ray tracing like algorithm and everything. He's like, this is the guy that invented it. He works for us now, by
Yeah.
the way.
He's our lead engine. He's one of our lead engineers.
Yeah. It's like, oh man, it's just so cool to see how.
Well,
He created this MIT, and now he's working for us.
here's why
Yeah.
he's so smart about all this stuff. Okay, he received his undergraduate degree in electrical engineering from Oregon State University in 1984.
yeah, that's a year before I was
And his
born.
master's degree in electrical engineering from Stanford University in 92.
Uh-huh.
And then after college, he was a director at LSI Logic and a microprocessor designer at Advanced Micro Devices.
Oh, yeah.
And on his 30th birthday, if you already didn't feel like you were behind in life enough,
Right.
where was I reading? Oh, there it is. In 1993, he co-founded NVIDIA and is currently the CEO and president. So I would think that he's so passionate because A, he knows all this stuff.
So LSI is a big chip manufacturer. It was in the early
In the
Until
late
he
years.
left.
days.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so LSI, I still use LSI. I still have LSI logic chips. I think my RAID controller is still LSI. So
There you go.
I mean, it's a pretty big deal.
I had a hard time starting my lawnmower on my 30th birthday. He founded a graphic design company.
That's worth a billion.
You'll catch up. You're like that guy when they talk about 401k plans. That eventually, if you just keep going,
I'm a guy
you'll
that
never catch
literally has an inflatable T-Rex costume in the backseat of his car. Do you
And-
think I'll be able to catch up?
But you repaired it when you wrecked it, so
That's
that's
true.
that's
I bought a new one on Amazon, sir.
Oh, you lied to us then.
No, I repaired the first one.
Oh, okay.
But I bought a
it
new
had-
one on
it had-
Amazon.
it had battle damage and it wasn't tenable.
You're winning in
Anyway.
life.
Would you like to wear it after the podcast?
No.
All right.
So he got up there for an hour and talked about the history of ray tracing because that's the big new thing that the 20 series does.
And ray tracing, if you don't know what that is, it's basically following the path of a ray of light.
yeah, and so
So when it bounces off a wall and it scatters and it bounces off something else and it scatters, that's what.
Or when it goes through a translucent object
Yeah.
and bends and things like that.
And the guy that created ray tracing was like, basically, to do what you need to do with light in a picture or in a film or whatever is impossible. There's so much light coming from everywhere
yeah.
that you need to narrow it down and focus. You need to be more efficient. And so ray tracing is literally tracing the path from the eye, from the viewpoint,
Exactly.
to the light source.
Yeah,
And
it's backwards basically.
It's basically reverse engineering light as we know it.
And if you wonder why CGI movies or like Pixar movies used to look so horrible, but they look so great now, it's because lighting has changed so much.
Are you saying lighting in videos matter?
Yes.
Lighting
Can you
is
believe
what
that?
What?
So Toy Story 1, they had to use, like cheap effects to mimic lighting,
Yeah.
and it looks horrible. If you look at like brand new Disney movies now, like Big Hero 6, the lighting looks phenomenal, and they use ray tracing, but it takes server farms like months to render this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so what NVIDIA has done is they spent the last 10 years, according to this presentation, they spent the last 10 years figuring out how to create hardware that will analyze ray tracing and reproduce that light bounce and that shadow and everything like that in real time at an affordable level for your consumers.
And if you look at modern graphics, it looks pretty good. Like they have really good lighting, but everything that modern graphics does is just workarounds to get around the fact that ray tracing is super computationally expensive.
Exactly.
And modern stuff really can't do that until now. And so like things like ambient occlusion, screen space reflections, and all the stuff, all the awesome stuff that modern graphics uses,
They're all tricks.
it's all tricks because
Sleight of hand.
for example, screen space reflections, which is like if you look at a body of water and you could see like a reflection of the map, anything that you see on screen can be reflected, but if there happens to be something off screen, can't be reflected on the water because the computer isn't rendering that.
Right.
But ray tracing fixes that. So if there's an explosion that happens off screen that normally wouldn't be reflected on current games, now can be reflected.
So the demo they showed for Battlefield 5 showed that in
an explosion from behind a
huge-
tank.
Huge detail, and
Yeah.
it was just fascinating and just beautiful to
So
watch.
ray tracing really starts to bridge. It starts to, I should say, I'm emphasizing that starts to bridge that gap of the uncanny valley, like where
Yeah.
we in real life we see shadows, we have peripheral vision, we see reflections on glass, even though we're not looking at them, right? And ray tracing starts to bridge that on the CGI level, so that our brains are so much more immersed, like.
It makes everything look realistic.
Yeah, and
Honest-
you don't you don't pick that up cognitively, like consciously. You don't pick up a reflection on the like when he turned it off. I was like, oh yeah, I guess I wouldn't have even noticed that on the game.
Exactly.
And then we turned it on, and they did an explosion in Battlefield 5, and I was like,
Holy
that made it so much cooler
Yeah.
and believable, and like I just felt like it like when they do a cinematic trailer. Like you feel it's getting closer and closer to you playing the cinematic trailers where they've rendered it.
It looks unreal. It's
yeah.
insane how good ray tracing makes games
Is it
look.
going to get to the point that we were going to want to be in a computer more than real life?
Well,
Yeah,
that's
totally.
during this presentation, during the part where they showed the games that have it enabled that are coming out, which there's a list online of I think 21 games. The big ones that you'd recognize off top of your head are Battlefield 5, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and Metro Exodus. Those are
Even
the three
PUBG's
big
going to
ones.
get it.
PUBG's
Shadow of
gonna
the
get
Tomb
it.
Raider looked amazing.
It did.
Holy cow.
So as they're showing this off, I'm just like, this is how the Matrix starts.
Yep.
You know, this is how you start to see
And that was
real-time
before.
graphics rendered quickly enough that this is the first step towards a 100% convincing virtual reality.
And then he went into AI with these devices.
Yeah.
And that made me even more go, okay, this is where they become.
Dude,
this is when
it's
Skynet becomes
It's
self-aware.
going to be one of those things where Apple's going to come out and be like, hey, sorry, Siri's going to wake up and be like, can I get you groceries? And like, we didn't necessarily program that. We don't know what's up. We'll fix it. Don't worry.
That's basically what he was saying. He explained how with these tensor cores is what they are on the graphics card. It's a way to compute AI algorithms so much faster that now they will be able to teach a program how to learn.
And so what they're doing is they're building these farms. What they control the AI, and they're allowing you access to it. So like in the graphics program, they've done a lot of the back work for the AI. And then you upload an image, you know, on whatever you're working on, and you say, give me a high quality, and it pulls that algorithm down that they've already taught and refined the AI to do. And then it they were showing like low res pictures that were being boosted into high res.
Yeah.
In order to do that, you have to understand there's missing data.
Exactly.
Like a picture output is only as good as input, right?
When you break it down to the pixel,
yeah.
it's a color.
Yeah.
You can't.
And then when you try to reproduce that color and you try to make more, like if you make one and then what is that, 8 around the pixel? 8 pixels around the pixel?
Yep.
If it's a square, then what are you going to fill it with?
Yeah. So AI is now learning what to put there
To
that's
morph the
missing
colors
to
between.
bring it to HD, to bring those pixels and resolution up.
Think of it this way: NVIDIA with their AI rendering and things like that is pushing toward a reality where you can actually zoom and enhance, like they talk about in the tech
Yeah.
movies.
Zoom and enhance.
Zoom and enhance, because now that's bullcrap. Anytime you see on a movie where they say zoom and enhance, that's
What
BS.
are you working with, right?
Yeah,
you're not getting more pixels
you're
when
not,
you zoom
yeah,
in.
exactly. You're not getting any more data off that still image that's already rendered. But with this technology, you actually will be able to zoom in, and then it will fill in the missing.
To a point.
To a point, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you're
to a point,
looking at like
obviously.
scenery, it can't like just guess what was on the side of the mountain. or
Although
something.
they did show a demo of they had a camera running on a car. That
They had AI create a
had
scene.
AI create a scene.
What?
Yeah. So all you saw was kind of shapes and colors, very very rudimentary, and then they said, and now the AI recreates it realistically.
And it was a car. It was like a street in New
Oh
York.
my gosh, I thought
And it
my
looked-
job
it
was
looked amazing.
robot proof, but apparently not.
Yeah. So anyway, the point is this whole presentation was honestly, it was just really really cool.
And if you want to see, actually, I would suggest all you listeners to find it on YouTube, watch the last 25, 30 minutes, because that's when they demo all the games.
Yeah.
It just looks
If
amazing.
you just want to see the games, watch the last 20, 30 minutes. But if you want to see like the whole history of how it all works and where it came from, which I thought was super fascinating, watch the whole 90 minutes or 100 minutes. I think it's worth the time.
They do a really cool timeline in the video that shows the history of the graphics card creation, like what
Yeah, when they
PCs
started
were
with-
before,
exactly.
and then like the first time they created this giant, massive GPU just for video handling,
the
and like
GeForce 256.
that's the one.
Was what was their first graphics
Mhm.
card.
And they kind of go through the lifeline of that all the way up, like iterate, and they kind of show everything. And I mean the performance. So performance-wise, over the 1080 Ti, wasn't it like 2 times?
So that's where we get into the nitty-gritty and the real question: pricing and how good is it?
We don't know how good it is yet,
But we do know pricing.
but we do know pricing.
So
So the 2070 is going to be $500.
yep.
The 2080 is going to be $800, and the 2080 Ti is going to be $1,000.
Was it 800 for the 2080?
Ti
I
is
thought it was
1200.
700.
Oh,
Oh, the Founders Edition's $800.
Yeah.
So it's
So
$700.
so they give a base price of 500, 700, and 1,000, but then you can get their special Founders Edition, or if you buy one from any of the other companies like in EVGA, Asus,
Right.
or whatever, that have the nicer coolers on them and everything, you'll pay more for that.
Yep.
So baseline price, the absolute cheapest you'll find this out the door is 500, 700, or 1,000.
How much better do you think the 500 is going to be versus my 1080 Ti?
They said the 2070 performs better than
A Titan XP,
a Titan XP.
which is just barely slightly better.
Oh,
in
so I'm
some
good. I'm good with
aspects.
mine for the next
Than the
little bit.
1080 Ti.
Yeah, you're
I don't
probably
need to switch it
fine.
out.
As long as you don't want to do ray tracing.
Yeah.
No, no.
So
And-
if you want ray tracing, you have to get these cards.
That's
No,
the
I'm
big
good.
thing that these cards have over the current generation is they will be faster than your 1080 Ti or whatever, but we don't know how much faster yet it'll be in
14,
relation to.
so 14 teraflops versus
if
11.
that's what we're going off, it's 14 versus 11. So you're looking at about
Right.
a 30% uptick,
Yeah.
roughly,
Oh.
on current games.
Eh.
But if you want
unoptimized games.
Yeah, unoptimized games. But if you want ray tracing, the only way you're going to get that is with the 20 series. On the other hand, before the end of the year, there's only going to be 2 games that support ray tracing.
Shadow of the Tomb Raider and Battlefield 5.
Exactly. And then going into the next year, you'll see up to probably 15, maybe 20 next year. It's one of those things where the hardware is there now and the devs can start to take advantage of it. So
I think it's such a huge leap. It's like truly next generation stuff.
it really is.
I think devs are going to jump on this as soon as they can.
And he said in the thing that he's like, there's nothing to compare this to in the market.
Yeah.
Like we can't
And
tell
that's-
you how much. All we can do is compare this against
itself,
what's
basically.
itself and the 1080 Ti's. But really, what this brings with ray tracing and with the tensor cores, like
It's totally next gen.
Yeah.
And
it really is.
From what I heard, it seems to me that it'll be easier for devs to make games look pretty too, because ray tracing replaces so much stuff that devs have to put so much
all
work
that
into.
magic.
He
right?
basically reiterated several times that it should not be difficult for devs to incorporate this, and it's because the way that the ray tracing algorithm works that he explained it anyway, the way I understood it
It's
is
like physics.
It's like physics, basically. You put in the game what materials you want to use for your textures. You turn ray tracing on, and I'm sure there's some other fiddling
And his
you
quote
need to
was,
do.
"It just works." Yeah.
It simulates automatically.
That sounds like a parent talking to a child.
Right?
How does it work?
It just
works.
That was a little
Well,
bit of
when
the, that was a little bit of the Apple-esque there.
Yeah,
it just works.
It was a
Yeah.
little bit there.
I don't know. Science. Just
One of my favorite things that he said was he wanted to make a thing look like a thing because it's a thing.
Yeah.
Was one of his quotes.
I'm just so excited about it because it's the first leap in graphic technology that we've seen in forever.
It's been a
seems
long
like.
time because the last probably 3 or 4 iterations has basically just been we can push more polygons, we can push more textures.
Yeah.
The lighting looks somewhat better now.
And I'm really curious what the next gen consoles are going to be like, because consoles typically use AMD GPUs in there, and we don't know what AMD's response is going to be, because it really seems like NVIDIA put a ton of R&D into this. They said they've been working on it for 10 years.
Yeah.
And so if AMD is not going to be able to recreate this, what are the consoles going to be? I mean, consoles need to have ray tracing if it's truly going to be next gen, my opinion.
I agree.
would Sony or Microsoft be willing to open their minds to going NVIDIA?
Oh, I think so.
It would cost them.
The 360 used an NVIDIA GPU as well. No. The original Xbox used an NVIDIA GPU. The PS3 used an NVIDIA GPU.
Oh, cool.
The 360 used an ATI, which was AMD before
Right.
it was called ATI.
That's what Radeon, is that what their AMD line is?
yeah,
Yeah.
AMD.
They got to be shaking their boots right now. Like
The only thing they have is the mid to low end tier stuff. High
even
end,
even
high-end stuff,
the Vegas that came out and stuff, they don't even hold a candle. They underperformed against a TI.
they did against the 1080.
Yeah, against
the
the
10
1080.
series.
Yeah, the 10 series. So this is like ridiculous.
And it sounds like only DirectX supports ray tracing right now. So I wonder when OpenGL will start.
Oh, see, that's a
support
good
it.
question. Then we might not see it happening in Doom because Doom uses Vulkan.
Yeah, and
Vulkan is the next evolution of OpenGL.
and PlayStation doesn't use DirectX either.
no,
So
they use OpenGL.
yeah.
So we might not see it in any of that kind of stuff.
One person made one comment in support of AMD, and that was that it supports FreeSync.
Well, yeah, there's I mean that's
they're like if you want to use FreeSync,
FreeSync is really neat.
I
Don't
love
get me wrong.
FreeSync,
Yeah,
yeah.
FreeSync is great. I really wish that NVIDIA would just support FreeSync, you know.
Seriously.
But man, as far as like next gen looks though, this ray tracing stuff, it's the future.
Yeah.
And I
Totally.
really really hope that AMD has something up their sleeve that they just haven't talked about.
And
that
I-
can
I think they blew all their money on Ryzen to push past Intel. They're fighting on two fronts there.
They are.
You know?
And you know what? I'm going to say it was worth it.
Yeah.
To see them compete in the CPU.
To see them slap Intel around a little bit was nice.
Because they still have, like I said, they can still compete in the mid and low end stuff for graphics cards. They don't have a horse in the race on the high end stuff.
Yeah, prepare to see those cards drop in price even more now that the crypto craze is kind of petering out.
Yep.
So
excited for this. What a great time for me to jump into the PC Master Race.
There you go. You came in at a good time.
So Tony, if you replace them, would you go with the 2080 Ti?
Oh, without question.
Really? You wouldn't go to the 2070, which perform better than your 1080 Ti's now.
No. I'm going all the way because I have two 1080 Ti's right now, and so I would have to. Obviously, I would sell those to recoup some of the money, and then put it all towards the 2080 Ti.
Market's falling fast on secondary market's falling fast for 10 series cards right now.
So, but I'm definitely, I want to see what the other manufacturers have before I pull the trigger on anything. And I want to see benchmarks. I want to see some reviews. As excited as I sound, as much as I'm honking the horn on the hype train.
You're the cautious man.
I'm still going to wait for reviews. I'm still going to wait to see what else happens.
Yeah,
Sticking to his no pre-order guns.
That's right.
I feel like I want to wait till more games are out. Because I bought the PlayStation 4 when it first came out and the Vita, and there were no games available. And, you can obviously play old games with NVIDIA graphics cards, but you buy it for the ray tracing.
Right. Now, on the other hand, like Alan Jasper is in a situation where he's coming from the 900 series.
Oh,
what a good
huge
leap.
upgrade.
He made a fantastic decision, if you ask me, because going from the 9 series to the 20 series is going to be night and day.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So I'm excited for him to get that card.
I really want to sell my 1070s and get a 2080 Ti.
Oh, man. Just seriously, listener, friend, you need to go watch the demos that they put on for Battlefield 5, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. And even just the tech demo they had with the guy where it puts the suit on like the Iron Man.
That was so cool that they rendered that with the whole ray tracing thing
in real time.
Yeah.
And oh man. Anyway,
I am excited to see.
I'm just gushing all about it now.
I am excited to see how they perform with the mining. I know that some will be used to mine, and I'm curious to see what that amount of CUDA cores will actually do.
I wonder if they could tap into the ray tracing cores.
Yeah, I don't know.
They'd have to rewrite the algorithms for sure. Mm-hmm. So back to your question of if I'm going to upgrade, probably.
Are you going to get 2?
Oh, I can see that.
I don't think I can convince myself to get 2.
Boo!
He will.
Two $1,000 cards.
He will.
One is so powerful as it is that he'll be able to run everything at 60 frames per second.
Are you able to keep one of the 1080 Ti's and then just replace the other one?
But 2 is the PC Master Race royalty.
Well,
you the king and queen.
You raise a valid point.
Because you have
as far as the bragging rights go.
Yeah.
But the thing is having had SLI now for 2 generations, I had it for my 970s and I've had it for my 1080 Ti's. In a lot of the games, I hate to say it, in a lot of the games, the laws of diminishing returns come into play, and I get, for the extra card, maybe a 20% boost in frame rate.
But it's still a 20% boost over other PC Master Race people.
However, if the 2080 Ti is more powerful than my 1080 Ti's in SLI, why would I need to get 2 of them?
Because then it'd be twice as powerful.
There's no reason other than to become royalty.
That's
Tony.
it. That's it. It's just bragging rights.
Yeah. So get one now. When a powerful game comes out, or you would actually need it,
you could get another one.
And get another one.
Yeah, as if I got it right now, it would just be purely for the E-peen.
Yep.
Yes.
Worth it.
Got to measure the E-peen. Okay, I guess that's enough about.
Is
that.
It though? Is it enough?
No, it's not. I could go on. I could go on for hours.
Okay, so just a little bit more on NVIDIA. Jarron and I were talking about NVIDIA earlier, and what's his name?
Jensen Huang.
He was basically like, crypto's dead, right? We were looking at Q1 numbers versus Q3 numbers. Was it Q3 that's over now?
Q2. Q1 versus Q2.
Yeah, and it was not good. And I had a question that I didn't understand from Jarron. Jarron, how would you know? How does NVIDIA know when a card is purchased and used for cryptocurrency? How would they know that? Where would they get that metric from? I didn't tell them when I bought my cards.
I don't know how they know, but how I would do it is usually when you are selling things for a long time, it follows a pretty good
Market trend.
trend.
So
Exactly.
you see an uptick in sales, you see an uptick
There's
in
a lot of ways that you
or
can
or
track
vice versa.
something.
And so January comes around. Sales are following January of last year and the January before that.
And all of a sudden, cryptocurrency hits 20 grand, and you see a spike up
There's
of
offline ways
1,000%.
of
And if something like really jump starts the market, you'll know the reason for and for this it's cryptocurrency. It's
Right.
like, all right, so we'll compare what our year over year was in previous years to what it was this year. Oh, the huge increase has got to be cryptocurrency
Right.
because there's no other reason.
So it's looking for correlations.
Yeah.
I see.
Okay.
yeah,
Okay, that makes
offline analytics.
That makes sense because
Interesting.
I was like, how would you know? They don't know that I bought that for that.
Yeah,
But they're
the
basing
news
off
is
of
a thing.
historical trends.
You got your history. You got what's hot in the market.
One more thing about the NVIDIA GPUs is they went up for sale for pre-order today, as you heard from Alan.
They're all
Alan
crazy
Jasper.
expensive right
Very
now,
expensive. Yeah, it went up for pre-order today. They should be on the shelves or shipping around the 20th of September. That's only like a month away.
Prepare to be disappointed.
though. The cheapest
Actually-
TI you can get is $200 more than what they said it was going to be.
Yeah.
Actually, gamers are going to be quite. If they've got the scratch to get them, they should be able to get them.
Oh, yeah,
because I think
for
crypto
sure.
miners are going to hold up. I mean, there's where cryptocurrency's at right now.
Yeah.
There's no way that you will ever ROI on $1,000 card.
No, not even close. Especially you're not going to see them diving in on brand new tech like that isn't proven.
Yeah,
You know.
I mean, I feel like NVIDIA rode the wave of their cryptocurrency success when they released the 1070 Ti, because they were claiming it was as good as the 1080 Ti, and so a bunch of crypto miners 1070
the 1070 Ti they were saying is as good as
as
the
a 1080, not 1080 Ti.
Right.
And so a bunch of crypto miners jumped on thinking, oh, this will help me. And it was the last time where a big expensive card was purchased en masse from the groups I run in, was purchased en masse by miners. And then as soon as any leaks started coming out about the new card, the new generation, sales stopped. Every single one of those guys started saving their money. And when I talk to them and when I'm in groups with them, they're like, we're not buying another 10 series card because we want to see what the 1080s are going to be.
Wait. When you're in a group with them,
Yeah, like a chat
do you have like a meetup?
No,
like
a
Discord and stuff
It's a
like that.
Discord channel.
Oh,
Yeah. So, and I'm on a couple Facebook pages.
Yeah.
with them,
cool.
So
That's neat.
And if you're a gamer and you're into the pre-built side of things, Alienware
yeah, Dell's jumping
has,
right on board.
has already got pre-orders up for
Yeah.
systems
their-
with those.
And they're not changing their form factor. They're just throwing the same big card in there.
Yeah,
right?
well, you don't
Yeah,
need to.
Yeah.
Although I did notice, I don't know if you saw this, Jarron, but the pictures on evga.com for the 2080 Ti's, did you notice that they are 3-slot graphics cards? They're not 2-slot graphics cards.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Wow.
They have much thicker
That means the
heat
power
sinks.
requirements are going to be.
The power requirements are higher than the
Yeah,
old.
285 watts recommended
Right.
per card on the 2080 Ti's. Okay.
Exciting stuff.
Yeah. Super, super exciting, if you ask me. So let's talk about. We need to talk a little bit about Elon Musk. He's had a rough couple of
Guys,
months.
we need to lay off of him because we're towing a fine line right now between like savior of the future and like supervillain.
It's true.
And so like if we pick on him too much, he could flip the switch, guys.
This could go either way.
Lex Luthor it up.
We've let him have just unprecedented access to the internet, and he's burrowing holes, guys. Literally, and we need to maybe lay off of him a little bit. He's had a hard couple days.
So he tweeted.
Yep.
And he was like,
"This is the first mistake.
Yeah.
Well, one of the first."
like James said, he's had complete
he's had-
autonomy on the internet where everybody's just like, he can do no wrong. His tweets are great.
Well, who said it?
He's
Elon.
had-
It's fine.
That's
Let it
good.
go.
That's usually how it's been until this one.
And
let it
then-
go.
And then this one, he
Well, there was
said he was
two.
gonna pull his maybe make his
No,
company
so
go
the-
private.
Well, he
So
called
he
the
got-
guy a pedo,
Yeah, he called the guy a pedo a couple of
which
like a month
was
ago.
helping during the flood in Japan. It was in Japan.
No, it was
South
he was
America.
he was one of the
right?
scuba divers
Thailand.
that helped in Thailand.
Yeah,
for the,
and he
the soccer
basically
team.
said like, well,
Well,
that guy was saying
To
that
be
he
fair, that
was
guy was being kind of a jerk to
grandstanding.
Elon.
Yeah,
like,
they they were both being jerks to each other, but
unnecessarily
Elon,
too.
right. But then Elon Musk was like, "Yeah, well, something, he's a pedo." So everyone, rightly so, kind of got mad at him for that because you don't just throw that out there.
Yeah, that's kind of going 1 to 100, and it's below his status.
So he got in trouble for that, rightly so. But then he also, like 2 weeks later, he decided to tweet out again and basically say, I think if Tesla stock gets to $420, I'm going to take the company private.
No. So he said, am considering taking Tesla private at 420, funding secured. And he didn't mean that when it reaches 420, he means he's going to buy the shares back at 420.
Okay.
Because he wanted to give investors a 20% premium, and that would have turned out to be 419, so he rounded up to 420.
Oh, okay.
So the problem was, he said, funding secured, meaning he had
It's
investors lined up.
Yeah.
He's ready to go any moment.
It caused a market shift.
Problem was he had investors say that they were interested, but nothing was secured.
Oh, he jumped the gun.
He jumped the gun, and I think he meant to do it as a
PR.
I don't think he meant to fool anyone. But the problem is, with public markets, you have to be super careful. There's a bunch of these rules and regulations, because anything that somebody in his position can do to influence the stock price, he could go to jail for that.
Yeah. So they subpoenaed him.
Yeah.
So they subpoenaed Tesla.
They subpoenaed him, and hopefully it won't go anywhere, because I don't think he did it with bad intent.
Right.
Well, that, and anytime you do or say something like that, like, you shine a spotlight on that company, and so now people are emerging that are saying like the working conditions aren't ideal, and really, what is an ideal working condition?
People have been saying that for like a year now.
Yeah, so I don't know.
They're just saying it again.
But so the stock price went up really, really high right after that.
Did it hit 420?
No.
No,
it did not.
I think that was a push publicly to try and get it there to see if he would follow through.
Yeah, it must have been a misunderstanding, because that's what I thought it meant. I thought it meant if the stock hits 420, he's going to do this. So I misunderstood then.
But since then, it's tanked because of these things that he didn't really have any funding secured, and the short sellers are really, really having a good day now. But it makes sense why he wants to do this, because he has so much pressure from the public.
Yeah.
That he has. I think it's really impacting, I don't know, his available time to do actual work, because he's
under a microscope.
Yeah, he's under a microscope.
Tesla's under a microscope all the time now, because it's a publicly traded company.
And it's not just him. I mean, it's think of all the other car companies that are now taking out advertisements that are, recruiting people to like talk bad about Tesla, because they don't want this. And on top of that, think of the oil industry that he's up against too.
And he's a celebrity CEO, and so people have focused on him, and some people unreasonably hate him and are really betting against the company, and so he just wants to get away from all that.
Yeah,
I kind of feel bad for the guy.
This is the same thing that not the same, but similarly, this is what Michael Dell did with Dell a few years back, when he took the company from public and brought it back to private, so that it would be under less scrutiny and he could make changes within the company without having to worry about repercussions of the stock on publicly traded platforms. And so it looks like Elon wants to do the same thing there, and that's fine. That's his prerogative if he wants to go that route. I don't think it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
But he definitely went about it poorly
to
start things off.
He's had according to what he said, it's been the worst year of his life. He's had hardly any sleep, because he's sleeping at the factory, and
he's got a really pretty wife. That's another reason to not.
No, he's not married.
He's not married.
I did not know this.
He got divorced a while back.
What?
He was dating Grimes for a while.
Oh, he was just dating her.
Yeah.
Oh,
Grimes.
Who's
Grimes?
She's really pretty.
Never heard of her. He dated Amber Heard for a while too.
Yeah.
Speaking of him, he's got another tunnel.
Yeah, so
in the works.
So what's up with the boring company this time?
No approvals in place, but he has a one-way tunnel project that he has proposed from Dodger Stadium to someplace else in California.
To another stadium?
LA Metro Station. Sorry.
You want to get from Dodger Stadium to someplace else?
Roll the dice.
so he's trying to get currently this idea is just a proposal and still needs approval by LA City Council, as well as all of the permitting necessary to tunnel under the Echo Park and Silver Lake neighborhoods. Well, that's not trivial, because there's at least 5 separate agencies that will be involved in that process.
Yeah.
So he's got a lot of red tape to go through on there, but
he's got a problem with announcing stuff too early.
Yeah,
especially lately.
Seriously, he likes it because he likes to drive the hype. It keeps him relevant. It keeps it just like other celebrities. It keeps them in the news feed which then drives stock prices up.
Yep.
It keeps interest. If people are looking at your stock, they're buying your stock. So
Exactly.
anyway,
He's good at PR. I mean, if anything, that's a way to
Even-
turn a friend upside down.
yeah, and there's no
Not
such
lately.
thing. No,
Well,
that's the thing is
it's
there's not
positive
really.
PR, but people are talking about him.
Yeah, there's no. Is that a saying in the marketing? There's no such thing as bad PR.
No, there's bad PR.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say I would have agreed with that statement maybe 10 years ago, but we live in
Now that the internet never forgets.
the internet never forgets and it never forgives, and there is definitely bad PR. 100%.
Yep.
Do you want to talk about your
Oh,
keyboard?
yeah, I do.
Review this action?
So a couple of days ago, I was sitting at work and somebody was asking me, "Hey, what something?" I had to go through my notebook, and then I really couldn't find the notes, and it was just really annoying. And that's a long story to get to where I was going, which is to buy time so I can actually open up the Amazon thing so I can show what thing I bought. There it is.
We could
Okay.
have talked about something
So
else.
anywho, I got a little keyboard for my iPad, so I can actually have notes and look through them at rapid pace
And type.
and type. And I was kind of curious as to, because I got kind of big hands. Look at these hands. They're kind of big.
Yeah, you do.
And so the keyboard that I ended up getting is the iPad keyboard case by, what is this? Yuneec. You can get it on Amazon. It's the Amazon preferred whatever.
Yeah, Yekby or something like that.
Yuneec.
Yekbee.
I love it.
How's
It's
the typing experience?
the typing experience has been awesome. The only thing that's kind of annoying is where the right-handed shift key is, but it's kind of fun. It's got colored backlight.
How's the
Lasts
instruction?
for days.
How's the instruction manual?
Oh, dude, I read it.
Is it in good? Is it in a good translation?
Yeah, it's a
from-
good translation.
Okay.
Why
No.
did you buy something from that company?
Remember
that was bad?
the last thing I did was the Enope power battery.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it was the great.
No, these guys are awesome. I don't
manual.
know where they're based out of, but they sent me like a follow-up email. Like you like our product, right?
You bought it?
Hey, how do you like it? No, it's great. I highly suggest it.
How much?
This one was $50.
It's not bad.
No, and especially because my iPad was just gathering dust underneath my couch. And on top of that, I mean, it's got a keyboard.
Does it
which
have
is-
arrow keys?
Yeah, it's got arrow keys.
Where?
You can right there.
Oh, there,
arrow
there.
keys right there.
And
And
you
then
have to
you
push
can flip
shift?
it around, and then it turns.
Did it
into
come with a
like
case for the iPad to link up like that?
Yeah.
A special case, hardware case. That's cool.
Like
It's
the
a,
case
it's still
that
it's a
in right now?
Bluetooth connection. to
Yeah.
it,
It's a
right?
Bluetooth.
so there's
connection.
no. It doesn't use the Lightning port or anything. It just
No.
it connects.
You
Yeah,
can,
yeah,
see,
it's
the, you
via
can see the
Bluetooth.
lightning port under there still.
Yeah.
There's a couple of downsides. One, I wish there was like a locking mechanism for the for the
Yeah.
front. It doesn't have that. It shows all of your fingerprints.
Yeah.
And outside of that, I understand why the Surface Pro or whatever has the little like flip down thing on the back.
the kickstand there.
Yeah, the little kickstand because I mean this is
it's
fine,
a little wobbly.
but if it's on my lap, it kind of falls over because it gets top heavy.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
But outside of that, I like it. If you got an iPad gathering dust and you want a little note taker for at work, and then you can also play apps while you're in meetings, it's awesome. Especially like Hearthstone. Hit me up if you know rotators.
Jeez. Cool. All
Yep.
right. How many out of stars do you give it?
I would give it 3 out of stars.
What's the highest?
5.
Okay.
Well, we're doing out of 5 now.
Yeah, we should really standardize our rating system one of these days.
Oh, what's it out of?
20.
I thought it was out of ABC.
Usually it's out of 10.
10 is what I rated
Oh.
my children. I set the standard years
Yeah,
ago
I
with
thought
10.
so.
Oh, I thought
When
it was
I rated-
8.
No, that's what they were.
Oh,
Out of 10.
okay.
They were 8 out of 10.
Not 20.
No.
I thought it was 8 out of 20.
That no.
I thought it was out of 5.
Well, that'd be great.
I
for
thought it
them.
was on a school grade too.
No, we weren't doing that.
I gave all my
Oh,
Marvel
man.
movies a school grade.
Well, I'm sorry that you
You
did
didn't
that.
stop me.
8 out of 10. That's a B minus. 80%.
See, there you go. Translation. You got Jarron. You don't need that.
Yeah, see?
You're good.
But you
Just
said a
keep doing
3
it.
out of 5, so that's a 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
That is a D.
No, it's about a 7. If it's out of 10,
So a C. Okay.
yeah.
It's a C rating.
It's a strong C rating. It could be a better case.
Fair enough. Okay, one more thing I want to mention. MoviePass, you suck.
Did they resubscribe you?
I wish you would give me my money back. No, I actually paid for the year up front like a sucker.
Oh.
So
I had in-laws who got
so-
resubscribed after they canceled.
Yeah, I've read about that. You have had it firsthand or secondhand experience,
Yeah.
I guess, at that point. But let me tell you, when I go to the movies, I want to choose between 1 or 2 other movies. And I
No.
don't want one of those choices to be Slender Man. Please stop trying to get me to see Slender Man. Oh my gosh.
It's not going to happen.
Did they invest in that movie?
They must have because it's always available.
Preferred.
Yeah, and then the thing
That studio's like, we will give you $10 million if you force people to come watch this movie.
money. Yes, please.
Yeah.
And one of the things that bugs me about this is a little thing, but it still bugs me, is the excuse that it gives on the app for not being able to see any other movie in any theater in Utah or Salt Lake County is premium screenings are not available for this movie. It's a regular movie with regular seats. It's not even 3D. It's not a luxury
What
seat
are
or
you
anything.
counting as premium?
That's what I want to know.
Like you get to sit down?
They're like, look, we're not showing this on a box behind the
Yeah.
theater, so
No premium.
that's premium.
No premium showings available, meaning we don't want you to watch this, and so that would be a premium for
They
you
had
to
to do
see.
something. They were going. I mean, it was either shut down the service, basically, which is what sounds like they've done, or go under.
It is the equivalent of having shut down the service because I have not used it since they started pulling this crap. I went to the movie and I had to pay for it right there at the theater. Didn't even get to use the movie pass.
like a pleb.
Like a pleb.
Like a freaking poor person.
Supposedly, in the next 2 weeks, they're going to switch everyone over to their 3 movies a month and either increase or remove the limitations on what you can
Joke's
see
on
when
you. They're not
go.
even going to last another 3
Yeah,
weeks.
that's what I'm getting. That's what I'm betting on.
Don't cancel.
Speaking of terrible apps,
Screw you, MoviePass.
I have an idea. An app idea.
Give it to the world, James.
All right.
Give it
The
away.
app
Give
is
it away.
called Uncomfortable. And when you open it up, it just has categories upon categories of uncomfortability. One
This
is
sounds like Reddit.
you press it and it's just 2 eyes and you got to maintain eye contact with those 2 eyes. The other one is you got to press it and it's a mom yelling at her kid and you got to sit there and listen.
Actually, you know what this sounds kind of like? WarioWare, if you ever played it
I don't know what that is.
on the Game Boy Advance, and 3DS.
Okay.
I actually had this idea with my wife the other day.
You know, James, I really appreciate it. I want to tell you your insults to the people last episode.
What?
What was that? What were we talking about when he was insulting them?
Oh,
Who's
yeah.
the people? What
Like,
people?
Yeah,
Two
who-
long socks that drift down on your
Yeah.
leg.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Those
Yeah.
were stellar, and I have used them in my real life.
I hope,
Oh.
I
the
hope
hair in the mouth one that you can't find, that you can't get
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
those weren't insults; they were curses.
That happened to me.
Yeah,
and
the
I was
one,
like,
also
that's never happened to me before.
Also, the one long hair that just sticks out of the front of your
Yep.
nose that when you go like this.
And tickles it.
Yeah,
Yep.
you can like feel it, but you don't want to pull it out. You ever pulled a nose hair?
Yeah.
I do it all the time.
I only have hair
You're-
on top of my head. I don't
Do you
know
have
what you're
chest?
talking
Do you
about.
have chest hair, James? I'm not sure. I don't.
have
I don't.
like 7.
Okay. When you have kids,
I
they get
shaved
yanked
it
out.
the other day. Though.
So
You
anyway.
only have 7 chest hairs? Me too.
Yeah. Although,
Take off your shirt.
I don't know what
No.
part of evolution dictated to me to have a full ring around my nipples. Like I don't know what evolutionary advantage I
You
got
got
from that.
that though. It keeps them warm, so they're not so pointy.
Yeah. Anyway, I really appreciated your insults from last time, and, and I'm
thanks.
thinking
No,
about
curses.
that curses. Right, your curses from last time. So when we're thinking about that app, you need to make a curse app,
Like
like family friendly curse apps. That's all those were family friendly.
That's true.
like-
what are those witch doctor dolls called? A
Voodoo doll?
A voodoo
Voodoo
doll.
dolls, yeah.
Yeah, you can wish it upon
Yeah,
somebody.
be like, look, he's got one droopy sock where the elastic band is stretched out.
Yeah.
For life.
Yep.
You got one leftover mosquito bite that's just a little bit bleedy, and if you scratch it again, it's going to scrape off the thing and dye your pants.
That one's not as good.
Yeah,
That was long.
You got to shop.
Well, I'm
Workshop
not
that
mad. What was that? Oh, yeah, I was mad
Yeah.
at the movie app because they're
Yeah.
stock.
one. Oh yeah, it was MoviePass
Yeah.
again.
It
Because
was
you had to
right.
pay money.
Yeah, it was
For something
MoviePass
you
again.
invested in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
For-
The stock made you pay more
Oh, my
because
God.
For
they
less.
2
I
into
can't
1, right?
believe that's legal.
No. 250 to 1.
That's
not
right.
2 to 1.
That's right.
250 shares to 1 share. I didn't even have enough of that 1 share. They charged me $50 to upgrade to one of their shares, which at the time was worth $10, but by the time that the transaction went through, it was down to $3 again.
Is that what you sold it for? Was 3?
What? No, I sold it at 18 cents.
Okay.
He held out.
No, as soon
Welcome
as
to
as soon as I
cryptocurrency.
saw it, I'm like, I'm out.
The last I heard,
It's like cryptocurrency market on steroids right there.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
it
you
is.
still
18
didn't-
cents. I wish.
you still didn't get out at the bottom. The last I saw MoviePass when I looked last was worth 4 cents a share.
The spectrum of emotions that I went through from buying it at 18 cents a share, waking up to an email that said they're worth $10 a share, and buying 200 shares at the time, and then finding out that I only have less than 1 share.
It's at 3 cents right now.
Oh man.
I hope.
And you know
Still
what?
better than
I-
most of my
I hope-
cryptocurrency.
I hope it goes down further. Screw you, MoviePass.
I hope whoever the CEO is of MoviePass, that person and the CEO of Ouya just go away.
Go away.
Go away.
They were at $1,200 per share in February.
1,200?
We've
Yeah.
seen that is
No.
as
Yep.
volatile.
No,
That's
that can't be
what
right.
it says.
That
That's
is
what it says.
That is as volatile as a cryptocurrency market. That is insane.
That can't be right.
No,
That's more than
I-
Facebook.
That is what it
I
says.
thought their high was like $42 a share.
$1,200 per share.
Now, is that they only had 1,200 shares?
Wait,
Oh, yeah.
1270
No, no, no,
USD.
Share price doesn't
Does
equal
that-
market cap.
Now hang on a
So
sec.
Don't confuse
Does
that.
that take into account the 250?
I don't know.
It's got to. It's got to. There's no way that it was 12.
Well, either way, 3 cents versus 1,200.
that's a big difference.
There's quite a bit of difference in pennies.
I got one last story. It's
All
quick.
Right. All right.
Unique. You know that drone
the-
brand that nobody pays attention to?
I thought you were talking about the.
I thought you were talking about the makeup company.
Makeup company.
No, Yuneec. Unique.
Okay. All right.
They have a new drone out called the Mantis Q, and the reason I bring this up, it actually looks pretty cool.
That's what all they do is they always make commercials for anything outside of DJI, and they try to make it look cool.
$500,
It will not be cool.
4K video,
Nope.
top flying speed of 44 miles per hour. That is fast.
That's a lot. Of
And 33
miles per hour.
minutes of flight time for a battery.
Does
and-
it have sensors?
Yeah,
I will
yeah.
believe it when I see it.
It has sensors, has voice controls, face detection, has sensors,
Crash avoidance.
and the
44 miles an hour.
the arms fold up so you can put it in a backpack. Nice. If it has good reviews, go for it. My only question at this point is build quality.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why you always-
Materials.
That's why you always wait for reviews and benchmarks.
Exactly.
Always.
But the specs look awesome. Actually,
Yeah, they do sound good on
Yeah,
paper.
They do. So keep an eye out for that. It could be good. Probably won't be, but it could be.
Nope.
All right.
So I
Nope.
literally have the crypto second. That's all we're down to
Okay,
now.
the crypto second by
The-
Owen.
Jaron's waiting to say one,
You're
so I'm
all
going to
done.
go really
You're-
fast.
you already
That's
won
it.
over
Okay.
Sorry.
Only continue if you get free power. And also, there's a story of a man that had to pay a hacker that had to pay his bail. The judge ordered him to post bail with his Bitcoin because he was broke. He had no
Oh.
money, but he had Bitcoin.
So did he do it?
Yeah.
Did he do it before it tanked?
The judge ordered him to.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good for the
Judge.
judge.
Was like, well, you got Bitcoin. You can pay us in that.
Pay us in that Bitcoin.
And he's now on bail in a halfway house, and they're getting $750,000 worth of Bitcoin.
That's how much his bail was?
Yeah.
Farts.
Yeah, he hacked into
Wow.
EA's user accounts
Oh.
and was stealing data.
Well, there you go.
So
Yuneec was the drone company that made the Typhoon. That is the worst drone I have ever flown.
Yeah, so don't get the
a
Typhoon.
blade fell off of it.
James is a hater.
It fell off of it.
That's why I said wait
Drones
for the reviews.
have like 3 jobs. Number 3 is probably just to shoot video. Number 2 is to fly, and number 1 is to not
Lose blades.
have a blade fall off. And a blade fell off.
What if it's like a weapon and it shoots its blade off like a porcupine?
Well, that's different.
Was that listed in the top 3
Yeah.
things that it
No.
needs to be?
No, where is that? Where would that be? Like
It'd
5?
be like 6.
Okay.
That has to be explicitly laid out in the attributes
You have
of
a
the
button.
drone.
You have a button
Yeah.
that says deploy blades.
Yeah, exactly.
And
If
you
it
go
just-
like this, and all the blades just shoot off
if it
in
just-
random directions.
If it just happens at any time, that's not a feature. That's a bug.
Oh,
If you're having a work meeting at a drone company and it doesn't always start off with, are our blades falling off of our drones?
Right.
Then you are not with a good drone company.
It might be
Oh,
good.
funny.
Wait for the reviews.
We'll see. We'll see. All right. Is there anything else anyone wants to hit on?
Nope.
no, I'm good.
All
I got
right.
Nothing.
That's it. Thanks for downloading and listening. And, we will see you guys in 2 weeks. Owen, take us out.
Hey, we hope you care.
Gadget Spot.